You don't hate your career. You hate that your entire livelihood is tied to one company, one boss, and one paycheck. And if you're honest with yourself, you've probably asked yourself, could I do my own thing? Could I step out and build my own thing and replace my income? But do it without blowing up everything I've built? And I can tell you, I'm someone who thought about that all the time earlier in my career until I actually did take a step out and become an entrepreneur. And the data says that you and I are not alone. Somewhere between 1/3 and 1/2 of Americans actually earn income on the side. And in the last couple of years especially, lots of startups were actually started as side hustles while the founders were still employed. So the question isn't, should you test entrepreneurship? The real question is, how do you test entrepreneurship without nuking your career? So in this video, I'm going to walk you through a pretty simple framework called the 26-4 framework. And what this is getting 4 clients within 26 weeks or about 6 months of time. And you can do this while keeping your job and your sanity and your income until you don't need it anymore. Welcome into the channel. My name is Tom, and I'm the founder of Vertical Motion, where we help good people become great leaders. This means that we work with authentic, empathetic, and audacious people who want to make the world a better place and want to move up or move out so that they have more capacity to do that. That sounds like you. There's a link down below in the description where you can learn more about what we do. But today, what I want to talk to you about is what we call the 26-4 framework, which is how do you get 4 clients in just 26 weeks, or 4 clients in 6 months. Option A, stay in corporate, but feel increasingly trapped and hope that things magically get better. Or option B, burn the boats and bet on yourself while you still have a mortgage and aging parents, and we're in a cooling job market right now. No wonder you're stuck. Those are terrible paths, both of them. Now, in terms of figuring out how to go out and be an entrepreneur, most of that content is for Gen Zs, 27-year-olds who live in their mom's basement and want to make $100,000 a month so they can buy Rolexes and Lambos. That's not you. You just want to make sure that your family is provided for while you don't hate what you do every day, that it sucks the life out of you. So by the time you actually get to a point where you can take a break, your life is cut short because you just were miserable this whole time. So that's what you're looking for, and that's the people that I talk to. Because you've got real responsibilities, you have a real reputation, and you have a chance to screw up a whole lot of things, not just for yourself, for a lot of people who are counting on you as the primary breadwinner and the person who takes care of making sure that all of this can actually happen. But here's the thing. Entrepreneurship does not have to be this giant leap that you make where you walk into your office and say, I'm out, peace out, I quit, I'm gonna go build my own thing, and then you just go off and figure something out. That's not how entrepreneurship should work in 2026 and beyond. It can actually be a series of small experiments that you make over time to figure out exactly what you should do next in your career. And the goal is to quietly prove over the next 6 to 12 months that people will pay you, that you can deliver results, and you can do it a way that doesn't set your entire life on fire. And that's where this 26-4 framework comes in. In the next 26 weeks, or about 6 months, your only entrepreneurship goal is to get 4 real paying clients for a small, tightly defined service without breaking your employment agreement or wrecking your performance at work. So why 4? Well, 1 could be luck. 2 could be a fluke, but by the time you've delivered quality results to 4 human beings, it's pretty clear that you know what you're doing. You'll have enough signal now to understand whether you can do the job, whether you like the job, and whether your clients will like you. After 4 clients, you will absolutely know what problem that people will pay you to solve. You'll understand what it's like to work without a safety net, a corporate salary. And you'll also understand roughly what your earning power will be if you do decide to leave your corporate job. And you can do all of that on nights and weekends on purpose so that you don't blow up your career. Now, the way to get those 4 clients is to run small experiments in 3 separate lanes. 1 is advisory, 2 is consulting, and 3rd is creating small productized offers. So the first up is advisory, and this is basically the same thing as fractional expertise. You have been doing something in your career for 10, 15, 20 years. You know something that other people don't know, but they need to know. And so you can actually turn yourself into a fractional expert, someone who is there to help companies part-time but not all the time. And they don't need to hire a full-time employee for what you deliver, so they save a little bit of money, but they're getting someone who is at a very high level. And so fractional expertise makes a ton of sense. If you work for 4 different companies doing the same work, well, you're going to get better and better and better at it. But these 4 companies are getting you for a fourth of the cost that you would cost if you were to work for them full time, but they're getting about 80 to 90% of the value that they would if you were full time. So you're basically selling your brain or your experience to someone to help them make a better decision or do something more effectively than they're doing now. So you can think about things like 60 to 90 minute strategy sessions with people, or quarterly board check-ins with founders or executives, or office hours blocks where people can bring you questions. If you're a marketing leader, you can do go-to-market reviews for companies. If you're an ops leader, you can do process and org design reviews with companies. If you're a product leader, you could do things like prioritization audits or product roadmaps. This is the purest form of a small, unscalable, high-value offer. And it's because you don't need a website, you don't need any kind of infrastructure, you don't need employees. All you need is a calendar link, a payment link, and a clear promise of what you deliver. So we typically aim people in this direction, advisory or fractional expertise, as being the first experiment that you run. You price it low enough so that you get easy yeses from your network. You cap how many you'll do in a month so you don't get overloaded. And you treat every call you have with someone as market research, so you continuously dial in what it is that you actually offer. And as people have success using you, well, now you get testimonials, and testimonials are proof that you know what you're doing, said by someone who actually paid you. Testimonials are the lifeblood of fractional experts, consultants, and coaches like me. Now, the second lane here is consulting, and this is basically the same thing as advisory, but there are deliverables attached to this. You're not just saying what to do, you're actually helping them do it. So consulting's a little bit different than advisory. It's actually doing the actual deliverable that you suggest, right? So advisory, you're telling them what they should go do, and then they go off and do it. Whereas with consulting, you tell them what they should do, but then you help deliver that result to them. So if you were a sales leader, as an example, this would be like designing a quarterly sales plan for a small sales team. So if you're an operations person, it could be building a dashboard of metrics and KPIs for like a 7-figure organization who needs a little bit more structure around what they do. And the idea here, again, is to start with a small, reliable offer that you can price very low so that you get more yeses in the beginning, and then increase the price until it's sustainable for you. So that looks like defining a 2 to 4 week long project where you are doing about 5 to 10 hours of work. And then you promise one concrete deliverable, like we will have X delivered, or we will have fixed this problem over here. And so the experiment that you're running here is asking yourself the question, can I actually deliver results to a client without burning myself out while they're getting great results? Productized offers are standard, repeatable packages that you can deliver over and over and over again. So for example, you can do a resume audit for $400. You can do an operations team diagnostic for $1,500, or a go-to-market strategy plan for $2,000. And it's the same steps, same deliverables every time, but just with different clients. And that allows you to get very good at this process. You do it over and over and over again to the point where you're really good at it. For example, in the Executive Career Accelerator, we've helped more than 250 authentic, empathetic, and audacious people become executives. And if you think about that, helping 250 people walk the same path over and over and over, we've gotten pretty good at what we do. We know exactly how to help people no matter what way they show up, and we can guide them to a higher, better career than what they had before. That's because we've been at it for 3 years, and this is all we've been focused on. And so with a small productized offer, you focus on one avatar, one customer that you know that you can work with over and over and over again. You provide one offer, you do one transformation or one thing for them. You focus on one marketing path until you make $1 million. And so 1, 1, 1, 1, right? So one client, one offer, one marketing channel until 1 million. And if you can do that, well, then you have $1 million. So it's a pretty good place to wind up. What you're trying to do here is determine whether there is a repeatable thing that you can do that people will continually pay you for as new people show up, and you can do the same thing over and over again. Will you enjoy that? Will that actually be moving the needle for people? And so generally speaking here, this 26-4 plan where you want to get 4 clients in 26 weeks What you want to do here is in the first couple weeks, is really understand what it is that you want to offer. Then you want to figure out how you're actually going to sell this offer. How do you explain it to people? Then how do you actually get customers? How do you deliver on that promise? How do you market and promote this to a larger audience? How do you do all of this without getting crossways with your current employer? All of that is kind of what you're doing in the first couple weeks. We have a program called the Corporate Freedom Accelerator, and we spend the first 8 weeks dialing in your offer, your sales skill, your marketing. Everything is kind of dialed in the beginning. And then we spend the next 4 months in a 6-month program really understanding how you can do these things the right way. And we help you kind of just get better and better and better and better. And so usually within 6 to 12 months, people are off and running. We have one client, for example, Jen. She joined this Corporate Freedom Accelerator very early in a pilot program, and she was an employee. She hated what she did. She hated her boss. She wound up becoming a consultant, and she got 2 clients who have given her more than 2 years of work to do with them. So she's currently looking for more clients, but for 2027 and 2028, not 2026. Now think about that. That could be you. So spend the first 8 weeks really dialing in what your offer is. Who do you want to work with? What are you going to do for them? How are you going to price it? You start the price low and you move it up slowly. As you have success doing these things for people, you then build on that by using the testimonials of the people that you helped in the beginning to increase the perceived value of what you do so that your price can go up to be something that's actually sustainable and allows you to walk away. And here at the Corporate Freedom Accelerator at Vertical Motion, we teach the concept of a walkaway number. What is the number that you need to make on a monthly basis in order for you to walk away from your career once and for all? What's cool about this is you can do business on the side, you can step into entrepreneurship and back into corporate, and so you can actually learn both and move back and forth between moving your career towards the executive ranks and also building your own consulting business so that you can make money in multiple ways, which is way less risky than just having one employer pay you in 2026. And so if you're saying to yourself that, yeah, this is exactly what I want, a clear path to test whether I can be an entrepreneur without actually blowing up my career, that's what the Corporate Freedom Accelerator program is. That's what we do here at Vertical Motion. We help people stop building someone else's empire and start building their own. Now, inside the Corporate Freedom Accelerator, we use your existing career capital to design a high leverage advisory or consulting offer. We implement this plan where you get in 6 months, you're having hopefully around 4 clients with guardrails around your job and your life, and give you templates, scripts, and support so you're not guessing on outreach, pricing, or delivery. We help you figure it all out and then help you set up yourself for success without burning out. And we do this by taking everything I just talked through and turning it into a step-by-step plan that you can follow. So if you're entrepreneur curious, but not ready to blow up your career, but you know now is time for you to take some kind of action, click the link down below so you can learn more about the Corporate Freedom Accelerator. This program doesn't run very often. We do it cohorted once a month and only allow a limited number of people into the program. So at any point you're watching this video, the program may be closed, but that's okay. Go ahead and click the link. You can learn about it. We can have a conversation about it. And if it's right for you, we can talk about bringing you in the next time we open this program. You don't need to decide that you're going to become an entrepreneur forever. You can go back and forth, just like I did in my career, and I've talked about this in previous videos. But generally speaking, I went from large corporation to building my first startup, to large corporation to building my second startup, to large corporation to large corporation to building my third startup. And so you can go back and forth between coaching, consulting, fractional expertise, and your corporate career. You don't have to make a binary decision, but you can run small experiments to figure out if entrepreneurship is right for you. And if it is, check out that Corporate Freedom Accelerator program I talked about. That's what I have for you today. I hope this is helpful, and I'm excited to see what you ultimately do. Tell me in the comments, are you actually going to take that final step forward to say like, yes, I'm going to try entrepreneurship out and just see how this works? If that's you, let me know. I'll see you in the next one.